What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Another exciting day. I'm going to break it down on what is causing SoFi to go up as much as it is today and what the data points are currently saying. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate it. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently it is up 3.66%, $10.49 the high, $10 is the low. So today it did successfully get over that damn $10 resistance point that's been flirting with for the greater part, I guess, of 2 days. And not only did it get past that, but on the technicals, it did get past this R1, so 10.06. And right now, it's kind of flirting with that R2 of $10.28. So SoFi's technicals are on fire. A couple things to break it down on what is causing this. So right now, the broader market, like I've signaled, is at 78 for the fear and greed index. So the broader market just wants to, in general, go higher, as well as the 10-year yields are extremely low. So that's going to really benefit a lot of growth stocks such as SoFi. There's one other thing I want to break down for you in a second, but going over some data points, no SEC filings, no press releases from SoFi, but like I signaled over the last several videos, it is anticipated that a lot of companies just go kind of radio silent during the holidays, so don't anticipate any substantial news up until, I guess, the beginning of 2024. But over and above that, though, especially around this kind of point right here, it just broke out. A lot of people are saying that this was shorts because shorts have really been getting into SoFi over the last little bit. And I wanted to break it down and explain why it's actually not shorts doing this. So as you can kind of see right now, shorts are returning about 102,000 shares. 15.02% of the free float is being shorted. 134.33 million shares overall are being shorted. And cost to borrow average is very low, so 0.09. I haven't seen it this low in a very long time. So in comparison to yesterday, it's almost 1% lower, and the cost to borrow minimum is negative 0.35%, meaning there is a broker out there physically paying people to short SoFi. So maybe they're trying to drum up some business or cause SoFi to go down. I'm not really sure, but you can kind of see based on this teal line right here, it's all in GMT because Ortex, I think, is ran through England, but it does show 1730, so that's around 1130 Central. So when shorts did return about 1 million shares, give or take, that was right here. So this was not shorts. This was big money physically getting into SoFi for obvious reasons, right? A lot of the data points that I've been signaling over the last little bit all show that SoFi is primed and ready for a nice breakout, as well as this just recently came out. So some of the latest data points to kind of show that lending is also increasing going into 2024, which is very beneficial for SoFi. So I just wanted to play this quick 1-minute video again, and this puts it in perspective on potentially once again what is coming for 2024.
What will real estate market look like in 2024? Let's bring in Frank Sorrentino, Connect One Bank Chairman and CEO. Connect One is a commercial bank in New York and New Jersey, the metro area. It's good to see you, Frank. Welcome.
Great to be back. Thank you.
So what do you see right now for housing activity since we've seen mortgage rates come down?
You know, certainly there's an uptick in mortgage applications today as interest rates have come down a bit. But I have to tell you, 2023 was a very robust year for housing starts, for home builders, for apartment builders, and for people graduating into new homes and buying and building new homes. It was a pretty robust year.
So it didn't really slow down as much as you would think with an 8% mortgage rate.
You know, on the construction side, we all have to remember, you know, our housing stock in the United States is woefully undersupplied. And so for the past probably a decade, we've been at least 1 million homes short in the United States. That includes apartments and single-family homes. So builders have really been taking advantage and constructing in neighborhoods. As you know, it takes a long time to get something approved and to get something with a shovel-ready project in the ground and then deliver it. And so there's just a steady stream of folks that are looking for new product. The housing stock that exists is aging quite a bit. So it's actually a pretty good time for home builders and contractors today.
So obviously he was talking more so on the home builders aspect, but keep in mind, SoFi, that's going to be very good for lenders. So similar to, I think, 2 videos ago when I talked about how a lot of the latest data for buy now, pay later has increased. So both of these aspects are going to really propel SoFi's Q4 earnings and even into 2024 significantly higher. So once again, that's something to kind of consider, and which, once again, I know a lot of people keep bringing up shorts. A lot of that data, once SoFi does unveil their Q4 earnings, they're profitable, then shorts are just going to naturally leave on their own accord. My own opinion, of course, and there has been no real latest or new ratings coming out from analysts, but then again, similar to what I mentioned about companies, like they kind of go radio silent as well. So don't anticipate any new analyst ratings up until 2024. And going over options though, very optimistic. So $13 million in calls being purchased versus 3.38 million in puts. Sentiment wise, 53% of all the options being done today is optimistic. Looking at some of the call options though, that is being purchased, a large consensus that it is going to be above around 10.50 now. So that's a fairly good thing. And similar to what I mentioned last video, assuming SoFi does close above $10, you are going to have around 25,000 in open interest just at that $10 strike price alone that is going to be exercised in the money, meaning market makers are going to buy shares to kind of accommodate that, causing a nice bump up in the stock price. Oddly, if SoFi is able to close above 10.50, you're going to have another 15,000 in open interest. So pretty positive stuff for that. Looking at puts, people are anticipating for it to trend below $10. So even the negative individuals out there have moved up their targets. Or I guess their estimates, if that makes sense. So something to kind of consider, but technicals are looking very much primed and ready for a nice continuation of a breakout. And a lot of these resistance points, like, didn't really even phase SoFi whatsoever. So that heavy $10 psychological resistance didn't really phase it. 10.06, 10.28. Right now, it's a little bit premature to say if it's going to close between this R2 and this R3. It might get dragged back into this R1 to the R2, but we'll just have to wait and see. Regardless though, this is very good for SoFi. This whole week is going to be a very technical driven rally. So who knows, maybe 10.65 could be the potential high for this week. I don't feel like there's enough in the broader market for it to be above that. But then again, all it'll take is more FOMO, big money buying, and just more good data coming out to really justify SoFi being in the $11 range. And one thing I just wanted to break it down on, a lot of people do really like the Elliott wave technicals, and I have brought this up in the past, but assuming it does stay above this 881 pivot point, it is anticipated to be in the short term between 1170 and 1230. So even more optimistic. Let me know your thoughts. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying SoFi or if you've been selling. What have you been doing with SoFi? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's make a ton of money on SoFi.